I'm Alex Dykes, and today we're inside a 2014 Chevrolet Spark EV, taking a look at Chevy's MyLink infotainment system. This is a touchscreen infotainment system that's also shared in the regular gasoline Spark, as well as a number of other low-cost Chevy products. It's actually one of my favorite GM infotainment and navigation systems, so let's go over this system. Right down here we have our home button. That's how you get to the main screen in the system. Over here on the right-hand side, you'll see the various feature icons telling you what is connected right now. So there's a smartphone connected right now by the little smartphone icon. Mute button right over there. We have our USB icon saying that there's USB connected, and we have our little OnStar button over there. Clock, we have temperature outside, then we have our various features right here. These only buttons right here are touch buttons. We have a touch power button, touch home button, and touch volume up and down button. Our Spark EV does have volume controls on the steering wheel as well. Multimedia is where you will find all of your various entertainment interfaces. So that's AM, FM, XM, Bluetooth, iPod. And then right here we have a number of other inputs which are not used in our particular vehicle, which are you can get pictures from your USB ports, and you can also watch movies off of certain inputs. Our vehicle doesn't have an input where you can do that. And we only have one USB port in this vehicle, so the USB 1 and USB 2 are a little bit extraneous. Your particular vehicle may vary. iPod interface is very fully featured. We have shuffle, repeat all. We can click on that little indicator right there to slide across in the song. We have album art displayed. Hit the menu button, and we have full access to our playlists, artists, albums, genres, etc. One thing that we don't have in this system is full voice command ability like you would find in Ford Sync. Instead, we get an interesting twist. We get a voice command button on the steering wheel that actually allows you to interface with the voice command system right on your cell phone or your mobile device. So you can still directly access playlists and songs via the voice command system. It's just that it will be the voice command system on your USB device or your iDevice, and not a USB voice command system that's integrated into the system. The system's Bluetooth phone interface is a very basic one, but it is nicely featured with a full dial pad, which I appreciate. We also have call history and a phone book. You won't find any messaging support in this system like you would find in more expensive products. Back button will take you back to that home screen, just like that home button will down there. Click on over to the smartphone link, and this is where you'll find app integration like Bringo Navigation, TuneIn, and Stitcher Radio. The Bringo Navigation is an interesting twist, and I'm going to load up that Bringo app right here on my iPhone so you can see how this works. But if I click right over here, there's no navigation software built into this unit. Instead, what it's doing is it's drawing the information from the Bringo app on my mobile phone. As you can see now, it shows that it's connected via USB. Regular old USB cable right there. Works also with an Android phone. And now it's going to give you this entire navigation interface on the screen using the data from the smartphone, as well as GPS and other location and data services from that smartphone as well. So right now you can see we have a map right here. We have a Bringo menu, so we can enter in addresses. We have a recent list. We can also see points of interest, take us back to home and office, etc. Address entry in the system is very easy. It's also very snappy with this interface. Surprisingly so, because of the way that it's operating. We have traffic information displayed right there from your USB connected device. We have an eco screen. This integrates with the vehicle to show you what your projected driving range would be. According to this system, our minimum driving range is 64, maximum is 97. And if we zoom out on this screen, you'll see that we have a little color-coded area there so you can see where you think you can go. So anywhere in the green area is considered acceptable. That's, of course, a one-way trip. It also tells you where your nearest charging station is located. The best part of Bringo, however, is the cost. It's only about $5. You do need to be connected to a Wi-Fi network in order to download the maps onto your phone. All the maps are contained there on your device. So you do not need to have an internet connection at the exact moment that you're navigating in order to use the system, because it does download them. But it's only $5 versus $700 or $800 that you'd normally pay to add navigation to most touchscreen infotainment systems. I really hope that GM continues to offer the system on a wider variety of products, because this really is one of the best things I think GM has done in a very long time. Back on the home screen, we have our electric info screen. This is unique, of course, to the Spark EV. We have a power flow screen. It's very similar to what you see in the Chevy Volt. We have a battery, and of course we have the electric motor. It tells you where your power is going. The charging screen allows you to see when you would be completely charged if you were plugged into 240 volts. It also allows you to change on this side right here how you would like to charge when you're connected to 110 volts. This only applies to the portable charge cord like it says right there. So you can choose 8 amps or 12 amps. One thing that I dislike, however, is the fact that it always defaults to 8 amps rather than the faster 12 amp charge method. That's supposedly because a number of Volt customers complained that breakers were being tripped or whatever. If your garage shares the charging circuit that you plan to use with your 120 volt adapter with a refrigerator or something else like that, then it is possible that you could trip your breaker and then you'd end up in the morning with an uncharged vehicle. Over here on the edit, we can change when we would like the vehicle to charge. We can tell it when we plan to depart, when the lowest rates are, and when our departure time is, or we can tell it to charge immediately so that we get a little bit more flexibility and cost control right there. Over here on the energy info screen, you can see where your energy has been used for your last drive. You can see since it was last fully charged, we've used 2.6 kilowatt hours. Then all of that was used on driving and accessories. It doesn't separate out the accessories, which is one thing that I dislike about the system that the Chevy or the Nissan Leaf, however, does. It tells you how much the headlights are using, how much the radio is using, etc. This does separate out climate setting. And one big change for this EV versus the others on the market right now is that it shows you battery conditioning, because this Spark EV not only heats, but it also cools the battery, and it does so in order to preserve battery life as well as battery range. That's something that the Nissan Leaf does not do, because the Nissan Leaf really is just an air-cooled battery pack. It's not active in the same way that this Spark EV does. So I would expect the Spark EV's battery to last longer than that Leaf. Finally, we have climate settings. And here you can control your automatic climate control either via the physical buttons lower in the dashboard or via these buttons right here in the screen. Now the temperature button is an interesting button because the system, of course, doesn't use waste heat from the motor to heat the cabin, because there really isn't a whole lot of waste heat going on. So it actually has to use a resistive element to heat the cabin. And to turn that on or to turn on the air conditioning, you use that temp button. So if the temp button is not highlighted, as you see right there, then the only power that our climate control system is using is for the fan right there. It's not doing anything else. You can see how much it's going to use if we air condition there, so I'll turn that temperature down to the lowest. You can see 23%, but if I turn the temperature, seen over here, all the way up to high, then you can see that we're really using an awful lot more power, because it uses more power to heat the cabin than cool the cabin. Finally, on the settings screen, we do have access to certain vehicle settings as well as radio settings. Vehicle settings, you can change climate and comfort and convenience, lighting settings, power door lock settings, etc. You can also have the vehicle honk at you if you leave your key in the car or you leave the car running with the key out of the car, etc. You can also choose when you want your radio to be powered down, when the battery in the vehicle is less than 20%, less than 15%, etc. And that is a feature to help you save a little bit of energy. The radio doesn't use a whole lot of energy, so it's not really going to get you that far, but you do have the ability to do that. You can also have it honk if the power is lost. So if someone pulls the plug out of the vehicle, right there, charge cord theft, you can have it honk for you. You can also have it honk at you if the power is just lost for an electrical system reason, so if the power goes out or the breaker trips. And you can also have it honk at you to tell you that it is charging or not. There's also a little green LED on the top of the dashboard to help you out with that as well. Overall, this system is one of my more favorite General Motors systems, and I wish this system was a standard system on every GM product rather than just a regular old boring radio. And if they wanted to upgrade to a different product, then that would be great, but I really love this system. The only thing that I dislike is this black plastic border down here does seem to be a little bit scratch prone. My fingers are pretty dry, and you can see that there are already a little bit of fine scratching going on there down there. But this system is one of the best navigation systems out there on the market, especially for the money. It's very easy to use, very intuitive. It's not horribly feature-rich, but it does have all the basics that you might need. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Go ahead and click that banner at the bottom of your screen to be shifted on over to our complete review of the 2014 Chevy Spark EV, and we'll see you next week.